Assignment number 8, New York Times article with a review question. Instructions. For assignment number 8, you will read an article from the New York Times titled, Teenager, an Aspiring Detective Returns $135,000 He Found. See the article below. After you read the article, you will answer the 7 review questions that go along with the article. Scroll down and you will see the questions below the article. New York Times article, Teenager, an Aspiring Detective, Returns $135,000 He Found. When I first saw it, I kind of stared at it for a few seconds, not knowing what to do, Mr. Nunez said of his discovery on May 3rd. I was very shocked. I have never seen so much money. Mr. Nunez, 19, a criminal justice student at Central New Mexico Community College, said that after the initial shock had worn off, he took a picture of the bag. He said he noticed a tag on the outside of the bag that said it contained $60,000 in $20 bills. The police later counted an additional $75,000 in $50 bills. It never passed through my mind to keep any of it, Mr. Nunez said on Saturday. Mr. Nunez first thought about calling the toll-free number on Wells Fargo ATM, but instead dialed 911 because he didn't want it to seem as if he was stealing, he said. After calling the police, he put the bag in his car and moved it so someone else could use the machine. He then called his mother to tell her he was going to be a little late coming home. 2 police officers arrived within minutes, took the bag, and took Mr. Nunez's statement and information. He said his parents expressed amazement and disbelief when he recounted what had happened, even after he showed them the picture. I've seen a lot of stuff in 21 years, but this was unique and refreshing for the department and city, Officer Simon Drobek, an Albuquerque Police Department spokesman, said on Saturday. I think this is the biggest amount of money found in Albuquerque and returned. Gilbert Gallegos, Jr., another spokesperson, said it appeared that a Wells Fargo contractor had intended to put the money in the ATM, but had mistakenly left it on the sidewalk. On Tuesday morning, Mr. Nunez was in Phoenix buying materials for his parents' mattress business when Officer Drobek called. He asked me how was it to be a hero in the town, and at first I didn't know what he was referring to. Mr. Nunez said, but then he started telling me about a ceremony to honor me. He wanted me to take my family there and meet the mayor and the chief of police. About 50 people attended the ceremony, which was held at the Albuquerque Police Academy on Thursday. At the ceremony, Mayor Tim Keller commented on Mr. Nunez's actions. Man, we all know the temptation, even just to take a little, just one of those bundles off the top. I mean, that had to be really hard. Mr. Nunez said he had received a plaque, gift cards, sports gear, and even a $500 scholarship from an electric company. My parents got emotional, my mom mostly, he said. I was more nervous than anything because it was my first time on the news. Mr. Nunez said that he had spoken to 2 officers who had responded and that they had told him they at first thought he was calling for a prank. Also in attendance were officials from Wells Fargo and the contractor who both expressed their gratitude, he said. Wells Fargo is investigating what happened, the police said. Tony Simmons, a Wells Fargo spokesman on Saturday, referred questions to the contractor Respond NM, which delivers cash in armed vehicles and provides ATM services. The company could not be immediately reached for a comment. When Officer Drobek learned that Mr. Nunez was studying criminal justice, he wanted to pursue a career in law enforcement. He invited him to apply for a position at the department. Mr. Nunez said he has gone to the station on Friday and filled out an application to be a public service aide, an entry-level position for those who want to become law enforcement officers but do not yet meet the requirements. I've wanted to be a crime scene investigator or a detective for the police since I was a kid, Mr. Nunez said. I have already had on my mind set on this. Since the ceremony, Mr. Nunes has been getting many calls and lots of attention on social media. Many Hispanic people in particular have reached out to express their support and pride of how Mr. Nunes represented their community, he said. The Albuquerque Isotopes, a minor league baseball team, asked Mr. Nunes to throw out the first pitch at an improvised ceremony on Friday at an empty ballpark because the coronavirus pandemic delayed the 2020 season. The family was very humble, Officer Drobick said. It was amazing to watch them. There's a greater good there. They weren't blown away by Jose's actions, but everyone else was. Based off of this reading, you're going to click on Take the Quiz, and you're going to respond to the questions. The article is going to be above the question, so if you need to look back, you can. Question number 1. Where did Mr. Nunes find the money, and why do you think he took a picture of it? Question number 2. Why did he move the money from the place where he found it? Why did he decide not to call the phone number that was posted on the ATM? What did he do instead? How do you think Mr. Nunes felt when he found the money? What about later, when he learned that a ceremony would be held to honor him? Question number 4. Mr. Nunes said, I've wanted to be a crime scene investigator or a detective for the police since I was a kid. Based on how he reacted in this unusual situation, do you think he would make a good law enforcement officer? Why? Mr. Nunes' parents were not surprised that their son returned the money, but others were blown away by his actions. In your opinion, why was the Nunes family not surprised by what their son did? Why do you think other people were so shocked? Question 6. Name 2 opportunities that open up for Jose Nunes because of his honest actions. And question 7. What was your reaction when you read the article? Once you have finished responding to the 7 questions, be sure to click Submit Quiz before exiting out of this screen so you don't lose your responses. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out.